Tigers, baby. Don't be mean to my baby.
Look. Oh, you.
I'm gonna give you some ice cream, okay? Pretty girl. Say go Tigers.
Roll Tide.
All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it to the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Welcome to the field where the legends collide. In the college grind where champions reside. LSU Tigers roar with a strength that's profound. Georgia dogs in the hunt, never backing down. Alabama's tide rolls with an unyielding force. Gators jumping through the swamp, setting their course. In the NFL, we rise like stars in the sky. Echoes of the crowd as the fanboys cry. On this podcast, we dissect the game and the lore. Bringing insights and tales you've been longing for. So tune in, buckle up, it's time to explore. In the world of football, where we all crave more.
And hey, I got to tell you, it's been 2 or 3 weeks now since we've heard that great theme song brought to you by our great producer, Beast of Kane. But you heard it there first. And rest in peace to a great Rod Bramlett, the great Auburn play-by-play caller. Honestly, he is one of my favorites of all time. The energy that he brings is what we're bringing today with the Chop and Block podcast. And we're going to bring you to a new show, Inside the Lines, the only show where real analysts are brought to the table. And the one leading that table is your host, Steve Dalton, tonight. The scoring, 1 point for a good point, 2 points for making me believe you. And what that means is, for just a moment, maybe I believe you. 3 points. You've absolutely changed my mind. So it is in your best interest to change my mind tonight and go home with a victory like you want your team to have this Saturday night. So, Barry, let's get this show rolling. Hey, number one tonight, each one of you are going to get a chance. And I'll tell you right now, bonus points for a short but sweet, to the point. If you make me believe it, it's even better. But if you drag out some long baloney story, it's straight thumbs down. Hey, Vandy protects Nash Vegas this weekend with a 10-point or more victory against Mizzou. And who is at the top up there? Oh, I see myself. Craig, you're right under me. What do you got to say from Gunnersville, Alabama tonight?
I got Nash Vegas being protected because short and sweet, Missouri can't defend the run, and Vanderbilt is more physical. And those words I never thought would come out of my mouth repeatedly in one season, but it is coming out of my mouth again. Vanderbilt's more physical because of the play action for Diego Pavia. It might be a long, long day for the Missouri Tigers in Nash Vegas this weekend.
Well, hey, you said the exact same thing that I thought. So I'm going to give you 1 point. And you know what, Craig? I'm going to give you 2 points because I believe exactly what you just told me. So 3 points for Mr. Craig. Hey, the Thoroughbred Havoc, former CCW World Tag Team Champion, multiple Tag Team Champion. He just disappeared. Where'd he go?
You got to get his shirt off.
Yeah.
He disappeared. Well, hey, I don't know. I don't know how he explained that. That was he's back. He's back. Okay. The Thoroughbred Havoc, in and out of darkness. Thoroughbred Havoc, what do you got to say?
Well, I got to say, I agree with this. They're going to definitely win by 10 points or more. Diego Pavia proved me wrong last week. He didn't have any turnovers, and he's going to ball out, and he's going to make Missouri look stupid.
Havoc, just like Craig, I got to be fair here, right? You made a good point. You made the same point that I would have thought, so I got to show favoritism. 3 points, Havoc. All right, two-term, you better keep it going. And if you got something different to say, you better have a damn good argument here tonight.
No, I don't have nothing different to say. Vandy's going to cover, and they might double that, to be honest with you, because Missouri's got one pulse on defense, and that's Damon Wilson, the Georgia transfer. But Vanderbilt's offense doesn't run in a way to where you can drop back and give Damon Wilson time to throw. To get rush the passer. So Pavia is going to eat. The quarterback from Missouri is just not very good. Also, I hate Eli Drinkwitz. You look at his teeth, it pisses you off. He should have lost the Auburn game. He single-handedly should have cost his team the Auburn game. And he gets bailed out, and he comes into the interview after the game running his mouth. So I want Diego Pavia to pop it in his mouth and tell him to suck on that.
Ooh.
Hey, you are right about a lot of things, Tony, and a lot of things you're wrong about. But tonight, you're right about that. 3 points to Tony. Hey, Coach, the last one in round one. Can you give me 3 points or can you up one?
Well, I'm going to give you the exact same point because I already know it's worth points. And that is Bendy is going to cover this game. Now, where I'm going to get extra points at is just like Two-Turn said about Eli. I really can't stand the fella. I don't like his whole attitude. And they should lose this game by 20 points or more, because when a coach goes running on the field, cheesing and happy, and the game is not over, but you think you got it in the bag already, that irritates me. I don't care if you came out on top or if you ended up losing the game. But, buddy, that was counting your chickens before they hatched, and that's exactly what's going to happen to them come Saturday. They're going to get plucked by Pavia.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, you got 1 point right when you told me you got a point because of the confidence. And I tell you, you're right on point. Somebody's going to get hurt, and it ain't going to be Diego Pavia. 3 points all the way around. And, hey, let's hope, like Coach says, one of you don't count your chickens before they hatch because you're all tied up going in round two. All right, Texas A&M blows out LSU and gets Brian Kelly fired on Sunday morning. Hey, you guys could be enjoying a great breakfast at First Watch this Sunday morning. An alert can come on your phone saying, breaking news, Brian Kelly fired again, this time at LSU. Hey, it could happen. You could be right there with me. It's up to you, but it is up to you right now, Craig, to prove your point.
A&M does beat LSU handily, but I don't think Brian Kelly gets fired. Even though LSU has like an 88% win rate at home at night. And there's some storylines in this game too. It's pretty interesting, Digo. Texas A&M's front seven is pretty elite. They have the highest rate. It's like the second or third highest rate in the country of getting home on blitz plays. So I don't think Nuss is going to have time to throw it. I don't think LSU can run it. It might be – I'm going to go the opposite direction here and think everybody thinks it's going to be a little bit of a shootout. This might be a rock fight because last week Arkansas ran all over them. But granted, Arkansas under Petrino's offense is pretty dang good. They gave up, gave up 42 points last week to Arkansas Razorbacks. So I think that both defenses got a little something to say here. I'm not 100% thinking A&M's going to run the field with them. I know LSU can't move the football, so this might be a good old-fashioned rock fight. But I think they win by more than a touchdown.
Well, Craig, I got to break it to you. You got 1 point, but you didn't change my mind tonight, and here's why. Bobby Petrino had to score 45 last week, or he'd be in another neck brace this week. So I don't see how Brian Kelly don't get fired. But, hey, Craig, you got out with 1 point, and that's good enough for me. 4 points on the night for Craig, I believe. Right, Barry?
That's 4 points.
All right. Tony, Do you have something that will change my mind?
Yeah, I'm an LSU. Like I've said before the year, what I thought they were going to be. They changed my mind for a little bit week 1, and then we found out what would really happen. Is Clemson was muddy water. I don't think this is going to be a blowout because for some reason Texas A&M's defense decides one week they're going to look like they have potential, and then next week they're just going to suck. They've given up 40 points twice this year to Arkansas and Notre Dame. They've given up 20 or more points 4 times this year. The only teams they seem to be able to stop are the teams that don't have offenses. They gave up 17 to Florida, and they gave up 10 to Auburn, which that's what everybody's doing against those teams. So it's no surprise. LSU's defense, and Auburn and LSU are a lot alike, except for LSU's got a better quarterback. LSU's defense is elite, just like Auburn's. And that's what's going to keep this a game. If Garrett Nussmeier can just not turn the ball over, LSU will have a chance to win this game. But Brian Kelly will be the reason Texas A&M wins this game. He will go for it on the stupid 4th down when it's a one-possession game. And then Texas A&M will march down the field and score to win it or to go double digits. Something stupid like that will happen to where the heat is on Brian Kelly. But once again, he will not get fired on Sunday. LSU will not fire him during the season. They will wait to the end of the season before they fire him if he loses. Now, the only way that I see him getting fired before the end of the season is if he gets blown out these next 2 games, which I don't see happening. If he gets blown out by A&M and Alabama, he will be fired following the Alabama game. But I just don't see it.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't see. I don't see points from that argument, and here's why. You got to make me change my mind, and I believe, honest to God, I don't think it's going to come down to one possession. And here's one reason I didn't give you a point. I think what you said about Brian Kelly is 100% true. It could come down to him losing this game, but in my opinion, I think we all would expect that. So, unfortunately, I got to hit you with a buzzer. 0 points. Coach.
Well, I look at where we're at, and I don't care who it is. LSU could be 3-5 right now. And a ranked team coming into Death Valley at night is something different. I don't know if they got somebody out in the woods doing some voodoo shit with chickens and carving symbols in the ground with chicken feet. I don't know what's going on. But I know Death Valley at night, it's a different atmosphere. Everything is different about it at night. So I don't look at it as it's going to be a game that Texas A&M is going to absolutely go in there and going to wear them out. They're going to work for it. And the only reason why it would be a double-digit loss is if Kelly does exactly what Two Turnt said and go for it on that stupid 4th down when you're on your 30, and then A&M scores in 4 plays, and now it's a 14-point game with 1:36 in the game, and you got at least 2 timeouts. So I don't look at it as being a blowout, but a double-digit loss for him, true, that could definitely happen. I don't think Brian Kelly would get fired if he lost this game or if he lost the game to Alabama. The thing that's going to get him out of that seat is when Lane Kiffin starts showing a little bit of interest in talking to somebody if it comes down to him leaving Ole Miss. So Kelly's future right now is actually in the hands of Lane Kiffin.
Hey, I tell you right there, Coach Price, I don't know what that noise is. Maybe it's Coach's truck getting heated up for the NFL show later tonight. But, hey, Coach Price, you made a great point. And what I'll say the great point is at the very end, I think you might be on to something. At least I haven't heard anybody say that. Lane Kiffin possibly to Ole Miss. And if I'm not Ole Miss, LSU, sorry. If I'm LSU, I'm looking into that. I mean, if I'm Florida, I'm looking into that. So, hey, I think that's a great point, Coach Price. 1 point there. the thoroughbred Havoc. Let's see if you can take the lead here.
Well, gee, where do I begin? Do I think A&M's going to beat LSU? Yes, they're going to beat LSU. LSU proved me wrong last week when I picked them to win. They made me look stupid on this show. That's in front of everybody. I told all you guys you were going to be wrong. So I'm not going to be wrong this week. LSU's going to lose. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I do think 14 to 17 points. And is Brian Kelly going to be fired? No, not yet. He might be fired, but it won't be after this game.
And let me say, go ahead and finish with Havoc.
Havoc, you got one good point. I'm going to give you a point there for what you said, and here's why. It takes a real man to admit that he is wrong, and last week you were wrong, my friend. So that is one great point. Barry, what do you got to say?
I just want to say that I agree with everything, but we need to focus on a little bit of positivity for LSU. Now, I'm down on them just as much as you guys are down on them. Trust me, 100%. But we got something going with Green Avenue. We just got to get a little maintenance on the bus. And I'll be honest, the defense hasn't played great the last couple games. Definitely not the last game. But if we pull that together, I kind of feel like that defense has some character to it. And they're tired, guys. They can't get nothing going on offense. They're tired. So they got to get something going there. And if the defense can show up, I believe Nuss, I don't believe in Nuss, but I believe in the spirit of LSU, like Coach said, the voodoo, the LSU voodoo. I believe it can get us over the hump. It's not going to be a blowout. The only way it's going to be a blowout, if they do get to Nuss, he will throw it away every time.
Well, Barry, I hate to break it to you as this, great show you produced, but I have to say this. Nuss is a bus, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen this weekend, and it's going to be I know you don't get mad like certain fans do, but I have the unfortunate feeling that this weekend will not be a great weekend for the LSU Tiger faithful.
Hey, Diggo, what you gonna do, Lil D? Bust a nut.
Hey, I really think, I think we're all going to be, some of us are going to be shocked in a lot of different ways. But hey, Barry, give us a quick rundown of the points after I kick it off on this next slide, and we'll see what the guys got. But the third segment tonight, okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Oklahoma gives Ole Miss a back-to-back loss when they travel to Norman for a noon kickoff. I believe this kickoff, it don't really affect, Ole Miss. I guess it's 11 a.m. there, normal time for them as well. So it's an early kickoff. But here's what I got to say. Oklahoma, they find a way. I think Mateer, this is going to be a healthy comeback for him. He's looked off the last couple of weeks with that broken hand. I think he puts it on Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is, heading into that dungeon area. Craig, can you change my mind?
I'm not going to change your mind, but I'm going to get real off in the weeds here on you, Dalton, just a little bit. So I, too, think Oklahoma does give Ole Miss a back-to-back loss. But for reasons that are unbeknownst, I don't know if you guys looked at the weather forecast for the early kickoff in Norman. They're calling for wind, rain, and hail. So that leads me to believe special teams, and that might be a little bit of a rock fight as well, which I like Oklahoma up front a lot better than I like Ole Miss up front. So, I mean, that's the first key. The second key is if you really want to get off in the weeds, special teams, and this is going to get crazy, who's got the better punter? Oklahoma's got a great punter that punts old school style and sits back there and kicks to 60 yards. Ole Miss has got that new crap like Auburn has, the Australian rules football punter. So this might come down to some big old special play issue, or it might just be a field position game where they're flipping the field all the time because who has the better punter. So I'm picking Oklahoma to pick off Ole Miss for those reasons I just mentioned.
Craig, that was excellent. Hey,
Mhm.
that almost made me as happy as what cheesecake does to the rapper Future. That right there was sensational. Hey, I'm going to give you 2 points for making me want to change my mind for really no reason because we picked the same winner. But also another great point about the weather because Steve Dalton didn't think about the weather. 2 turn, 3 points for Craig. What do you got to say?
Yeah, I mean, the weather does affect the game, but in my opinion, it doesn't affect the outcome of this game because I don't see a way that Ole Miss wins this game. Oklahoma, I'm pretty sure leads not only the SEC but the country in sacks, QB hurries, pretty much anything that involves affecting the quarterback. And despite Ole Miss's quarterback having success, the D2 transfer, it's not like he's just making unbelievable throws. He's throwing 5-yard stop routes and slants and screens, and these guys are just making plays. Oklahoma's DBs can get hands on you, and you got to get open. It's not just, oh, we're going to play 8 yards off, let you catch it, and then try to make a play. I don't see a way Ole Miss scores 20 points on this Oklahoma defense. I think Oklahoma's defense is that good, and if it does rain, it does benefit Oklahoma big time because Oklahoma can run the ball. Ole Miss can't really run the ball that well. So I'm not saying this is going to be a blowout, but Ole Miss's defense is Swiss cheese. It's one of the worst in the SEC. They got 350-pound D linemen that can't even move. They just sit there apparently and just let you get to the next level. So I do think Oklahoma wins this game. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I'm going to say it's in convincing fashion like that. There's never a doubt that you think that Ole Miss is going to win that game. You think the whole time Oklahoma's winning this game.
Well, I got to tell you.
Let me make a counterpoint to that, Dalton, because I got 2 points to TJ's there. Just a quick counterpoint.
Yeah.
It's a little bit skewed with the numbers about leading the nation in sacks because they played Auburn. So, I mean, there should be like an asterisk next to that, first off.
Hey, and by the way, I cut my mic off. JC, tell him what you just said, that I'm what? You said, and he's what? You said I was right?
Yeah, he was right.
That's all that matters. And the second point I want to make is Oklahoma's defensive backs will put their hands on you. Ask me how I know.
Well, hey, like you just said, 2 points. I agree. Hey, I'm gonna give Tony 2 points there, and here's the reason why. He had a great point when he mentioned Oklahoma defense. I think they are absolutely nasty. And we got Brett, Venables right there. We already know what he could do in defense when he was at Clemson. And the reason he gets a second point is because I love when I'm right, and he just proved that because he had the same point as I did. And it's nice knowing that you're right sometimes. So, TJ, 2 points. Hey, Coach, what do you got to say? Can you change my mind?
Well, I don't know if I'll change your mind or not because I'm looking at it pretty much the same way. I think Oklahoma wins this game. They have the offense, for the weather, because I do look at that. And running the ball is what you're really going to have to do in that situation. But you can't sit here and just say that Ole Miss can't do anything because Lane is averaging roughly 400 or 500 yards a game. So it ain't like it's just going to all of a sudden stop.
But, Coach, if you go and look outside of the Georgia game, they showed it. Ole Miss's offensive stats on the road compared to at home under Kiffin are over underneath half as many total yards per game on the road versus at home.
But he's still capable. So I'm not taking that away from him because Lane Kiffin is a very, very smart coach. He can adapt to it. I mean, look at that suit that he got on. The man can blend in with the ocean right now. He's a chameleon. I'm telling you, never, ever underestimate Lane Kiffin. Everybody on the Georgia end, they wanted to bring up all the other scores, or we're going to blow them out by 17, or we're going to blow them out by 20, or yada, yada, yada. Look how hard that game really was. you know, Lane has really stepped up his game. Now, the early Lane Kiffin, he might go in here and want to throw the ball in his 90 miles per hour gust of wind, and he'll still try to throw it. That was the old Lane, but this guy right now, he's on another level. Lane has went elite, and a lot of people are not really recognizing it because you're just looking at the fact that it's Ole Miss, and look what he's done with the program. So I look at Oklahoma winning this ball game only because they can run the ball more efficient than Ole Miss can run the ball, but don't think it's going to be one of those one-sided ball games because Ole Miss is still going to be a potent offense no matter where they're playing.
Hey, I got to tell you this right now. I didn't know this would happen in the first edition of this game here, but Coach, I got to give you a point. You made a great point, even though you can't change my mind because you know we picked the same team. It's hard, but I'll also say this: for the first time ever, a person has earned a point, and it wasn't their turn. 2 turn, you earned a point. It was a great thing right there, mentioning the road offense because you're right. They've done it nearly every time they've been on the road. They've struggled. Great point there. Extra point for Tony and Thoroughbred Havoc. What do you got to say?
Well, I got to go with Oklahoma here too. Similar to what you guys said, the weather is going to impact the game as it usually does, and that favors a team with the best running game, and that's Oklahoma. Not only John Mateer, but they got some good running backs too. And Mateer's going to be healthier than he was coming off that broken hand. And yeah, Brent Venables is a great defensive coach. Those boys are playing nasty physical football, and they're going to beat Ole Miss. It'll be a dogfight. I expect it to be close, but I got to go with Oklahoma here too.
Thoroughbred, nothing you said was incorrect. Unfortunately, it's the timing because everybody else has already said that, and you're just caught with the luck of the draw. 0 points on this segment, unfortunately. And the next –
Hold on. Let me get you a second.
Barry said, I need some points. What you got, Barry?
I don't need no points, but
he donating.
I got a point. Now, Coach was on it. Now, y'all getting a little too bit happy with these OU bars. And Kevin said he's going to be the only one to go with OU. I don't think that's true. Go with Ole Miss. I think I'm going to go with Ole Miss, too. Listen, man. Mateer ain't got this. Didn't they get beat by Texas?
Yes, but that was literally the day that he got cleared from his thumb. His thumb was bleeding.
I didn't have it on narrative. I just said, didn't he get beat by Texas? And didn't he throw yes or no? Didn't he throw 3 picks?
Yeah.
He threw 3 picks too. And at home against Michigan and Auburn, he scored exactly 24 points.
You know the common theme though with those teams?
Excuse me?
You know the common theme though with those teams that he played? They all have great defenses.
Tony, I'm just telling you, the Lane can score some points.
I know that, but he can give them up too. His defense is terrible.
He can, but if you go and you look at when I look at OU's defense, I don't see what y'all see. If you go and look at the scores of all of those games and who they played, yeah, they blew out some bad teams. I mean, they stopped some bad teams, but all the other teams was able to score comfortably, on them. Yeah, go look at the scores.
You know what is worrisome, I guess, for Ole Miss, and I will agree on this. If you look at the Georgia game, at the end of that game, as a Georgia fan, you're like, man, we could not get a stop to save our life. It's the constant story. Couldn't stop them on 3rd down. Couldn't do anything. But in reality, we got 2 stops at the end of the game that meant the most. And if you look at it, just like Tony said, they can give them up. Georgia never was stopped. I mean, they scored on every possession. So it's one of those things where it's a little of both. I mean, Ole Miss, they have never figured it out on defense under Lane Kiffin. And
Well,
they're
Ole
not going to do it with Pete Golden back there. They just, I don't know what it is. Hugh Freeze had a defense, a legitimate defense at Ole Miss, and that is the reason he could win with average quarterback play in Bo Wallace. I mean, and then he had a better quarterback, and who was it, Chad Kelly, that beat Alabama one time.
Chad Kelly, yeah, but let's not forget they also had A.J. Brown, freaking
they had A.J. Brown
and Metcalf, all three of them.
Yeah, and on the same team. I mean, they were great, but that's what I'm saying. What is the difference? I mean, the difference is only defense. So
Ole Miss gave up 23 to Kentucky this year.
But
Oklahoma's given up 23 points one time this year.
Every one of these games, dude. But who have they played, Tony?
What do you mean? Who has Ole Miss played? Who've they beaten?
But we're not talking about Ole Miss right now. You're talking about Oklahoma.
But I'm saying both teams aren't like phenomenal, but one team's got a great
I truly think that I think this is the best game of the weekend for a lot of reasons. This game is the season for both teams. If either team loses, they're out of the SEC title run. They're out of probably the playoff because I don't see them getting a way back in. I mean,
that's all LSU need to hear. Ole Miss is not going to be in the playoffs. Lane to LSU. Watch what happens.
But that's what I'm saying. Neither teams are phenomenal, but you know the old saying, defense wins championships. Ole Miss can't stop a nosebleed in the middle of the winter.
But, okay. What's the score of this game?
Final score, I will go Oklahoma 27-14.
Okay.
All right.
Next slide. Barry, do we got a point total here?
We get a point. So right now, what I have right now is 6 for Craig, 6 for Tony, 5 for Coach, and 4 for Havoc.
All right. Hey, right here, I think we're finally going to hit it on the head. I feel like we're going to have some different answers. But in my honest opinion, right now, Ty Simpson wins the Heisman. Craig, as an Auburn Tiger fan, do you have anything else?
Yeah, he's not going to win the Heisman, and this is why I'm going to tell you, because Fernando Mendoza does not face an elite defense for the rest of the year. They're tied at odds right now. Indiana's quarterback and Ty Simpson are tied, plus 350 or 330 or something for the Heisman. Listen to Indiana's schedule the rest of the year. UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue. Now, listen to Alabama's schedule. South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, and Auburn. You got 3 elite defenses, and Indiana's not playing. Is not playing one. So I'm just looking at it from a pure. If Ty Simpson wins the Heisman this year with this schedule, he by God deserves it.
But
I say he don't.
But you got to think about it, Craig. You just made the argument for Ty.
I make the argument for Ty. He plays a harder defense. Harder defense is week in and week out for the rest of the year.
But that's the point. Because at some point during this season, you got to look at who these people play. And if Ty come through victoriously, and after he not beat Georgia, and who all he beat? Georgia, Vandy, Mizzou, and Tennessee, and then he gonna beat LSU. He probably gonna win out. I would be shocked if Alabama doesn't win out. So I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying. He's gonna rack up stats, but Ty could still win it because of strength of schedule.
So you think, but they don't look at strength of schedule for the Heisman. It's strictly statistical about 99% of the time. Do you really think Alabama's going to win out?
I don't see no reason why they could. I don't think you can make a very strong argument that they won't.
This is the same Alabama team that laid an egg against FSU. They hadn't had a bad game, man. He's been playing great. It just takes 1 or 2 bad plays.
Hey, I want to say this, Greg. Before you continue your argument, I have one question that may affect your score.
All right.
Is the voting of the Heisman, is it does it end on the night of conference championship play, or does it end before that?
No, it's after conference championship play, but it's before the
it's just
playoff,
before bowls.
which I think
All
is
right,
ridiculous.
Craig, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you 3 points because I think you have, for the first time of the night and the first time of this game, you've changed my mind, and here's why. I think you are right. Yes, Ty Simpson, you make a great point. He plays great teams to end the season, and if he shows out, he very well could win the Heisman. He probably will. But one slip-up with Mendoza playing nobody until Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, if he were to beat them and they go undefeated, he is winning the Heisman. Craig, great argument. 3 points, 2 turn. What do you got?
I just want to start off with I disagree with what you just said about them if they go undefeated and beat Ohio State. For him to win the Heisman just because he beats Ohio State, they would have to blow them out. Because let's not forget, you just were talking about last week how, not we, but you don't really know how good Ohio State really is because they barely beat Texas by a touchdown, and Texas, is we all agree, is not very good. I don't personally care if Ty wins the Heisman, but if he continues playing the way he's playing right now, there's no way in hell he doesn't win it. I mean, everyone in the country right now is saying he's the number 1 pick in the draft. He's the best quarterback in the country. At the end of the day, the Heisman usually goes to the best player on the best team. And if it comes down to it, the Alabama is an SEC champion, and Ty Simpson has 30-plus touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions and won the SEC championship, you're telling me that those Heisman voters are picking some undefeated Big Ten team or even a one-loss Big Ten quarterback over him? There's no way. And I'll compare it to this. Derrick Henry versus Christian McCaffrey, Heisman. Christian McCaffrey had better stats than Derrick Henry. He had almost the same amount of rushing yards, if not right at it, I believe. But he had way more receiving yards. He done more. Derrick Henry played 8 top 25 defenses in 12 games. Derrick Henry single-handedly carried Alabama to the SEC championship and won the SEC championship. That's why he won the Heisman. Christian McCaffrey probably was the better overall player, but Derrick Henry was the best player on the best team. Stanford was not the best. He was the best player, but not the best team. If Alabama wins out, which I think we could drop a game. I think we could drop one. I could see it. But if Alabama wins out, there's no way he doesn't win the Heisman. There's no way. There's no argument. Huh?
Which game are you going to drop?
If I had to pick one, it's either the Oklahoma or the LSU game that's a slip-up. And both of those are at home, so we have the advantage, but that Oklahoma game's a trap game, and it's always usually high, at least the first half of the Alabama LSU game is always very intense. One of those games we could drop. But if we get through that and we're 11-1 and then win the SEC championship 12-1, Ty Simpson can go ahead and they can just mail the trophy to his house. He don't even need to attend because it's not even going to be a close vote.
He might as well go ahead and get him a trophy case right now. If he does what he does all the way out. And look, man, it pains me to say Alabama going to win. I hate Alabama fans more than the team. I believe Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in football.
I want to say one more thing about Ty Berry, and this is another thing. There's not another player in the country that plays that position that takes it as seriously as he does. I mean, they asked him the other day at practice how he does what he does, and his words were, we say in the quarterback room, prepare like you've never won and perform like you've never lost. I wanted to run through a freaking wall. When you got a quarterback with that mindset and is constantly critiquing his own game, shit, you better watch out.
And look, Craig, you're right. Anybody can slip up. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think an argument can be made to say without a doubt Alabama cannot win out. They already beat some great teams.
I think saying without a doubt is a little strong. We're in week 7.
Well, that ain't too many weeks left.
Well, look,
I mean, there's still some other teams that they got to play. That's all I'm saying.
Let me further explain why, I'm on the Craig train. Because here's why. Tony, you said there's no way that Mendoza wins the Heisman if he wins out and just beats Ohio State. I'll tell you why there is. If he goes out on a tear like he's doing, I mean, the guy's talented. He's already won some big games. If he goes and wins out and then they beat Ohio State, I'm telling you, don't be shocked if he wins the Heisman, because here's the one thing. He has an unblemished record. And at that point, he would have the biggest win of the season, which will be Ohio State. And he's already beaten Oregon. He's beaten these teams. I mean, I think that's why my mind has changed. I think that there is a real argument that this race is nowhere close to over.
No, I agree with that. I mean, Ty's got to continue playing how he's playing. But there's no way you can tell me if he continues how he's playing that he doesn't win it. I don't care what the other guy does. If Ty doesn't have a drop off, there's no way he doesn't win it.
If he goes undefeated against the teams he's playing, I don't disagree that he deserves it. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just telling you, Indiana is our media darlings right now, and saying that don't affect Heisman voters is being ridiculous. I mean,
but
for Colorado last year.
They may be media darlings, but Bama is still Bama. And Bama got a big old engine behind it too. And if it get down to the end, hey, Mendoza better have all of his damn ducks in a row to take that trophy out of there. Because Ty Simpson gonna be there.
I'll tell you this before we forget on the scoring. Tony, I'm gonna give you a point there. And the reason is, if you would have went before Craig, you might have, maybe have changed my mind in one way. Craig changed my mind the other way, and you didn't necessarily change it back the other way. But I'm going to give you 1 point. So, Craig, 3 points there. TJ, 1 point there. And, oh, man, you just said something, Barry. Oh, and before I throw it to Coach, here's one thing. We talked about Kirk Cignetti, right? If he were to have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from this Indiana program, I'm sorry, but I'm going to put him up there as the top 3 coaches in America by far. I mean, what he has done is unheard of. It's unbelievable. I love his attitude. And, people gave him a lot of flack last year for not playing a big schedule or this and that. Listen, I'm not playing into that anymore. I think he is the real deal. Coach, Ty Simpson wins the Heisman. What do you say?
I say everybody's talking about Ty Simpson and winning the Heisman because it's the SEC, and they're not really looking at what could actually happen in the SEC. And I'm sitting here watching everybody kind of sleep on what Craig pointed out when he was talking about who plays who, and nobody has mentioned Julian Sayin. And that's the one that's going to come out of here with it. Ohio State ain't got nobody to worry about, but Ty Simpson does. So now I look at right now, the Heisman is never going to be the guy that we're talking about. It's the sleeper. And it may not even be saying, we haven't even talked about the running back from Baylor. Or we're not even talking what may happen from here on out with Notre Dame and the 2 running backs that they got. So for me to see
the real sleeper, JP, it's that boy in that black and gold in the other part of Georgia, Haynes King. That's the real sleeper.
That's another one. So, I look at it like if I had a guy that I said right now who would be the first quarterback that I would take, it would be Ty Simpson. So I would look at him more of a first round number 1 draft pick over winning a Heisman.
Well,
that's tough right there.
If everything goes, if both of them go out like that, and Ty doesn't get the trophy, nobody's going to respect that Heisman. Not after what Ty had to go through.
Ty will be
y'all tell me all the time. Y'all tell me day in and day out. I get tired of hearing y'all talk that SEC shit all the time. And now y'all gonna tell me that Ty Simpson can go through the whole juggernaut, tapping everybody's ass. I'm talking about playing some big time football, and he basically got a bid for the Heisman. Come on now.
Barry, you're forgetting that the Heisman Trophy presentation is in New York City. It's not in Birmingham, Alabama, or Atlanta, Georgia. We'd be having a different conversation. They don't care. And like I said, it would be, oh, there goes Davis talking about how much you love Alabama.
Yeah, but it's the Heisman vote, the Heisman winners that vote. Like a lot of those are SEC guys. Like
I don't disagree. I'm just telling you, just the way that it goes, I have a hard time seeing if he has a slip-up game like we're talking about. He may not, man. They might run the table. They might run the table. I'm not saying one way or the other. I do think they slip up because I know he has not had a slip-up game since Florida State where he looked average. He didn't really look average against Florida State. He was playing his butt off. Nobody's made him look average yet. And you like to think out of a 12, out of as many games as they play in the conference, somebody's going to make him look average at some point. And that doesn't mean Alabama's going to lose the game. I'm just saying he hadn't had an average game yet.
And it's the game that I said at the beginning of the year which one it was going to be. I don't care where they're sitting at this time of the year or where they're going to be sitting at that time of the year. That Iron Bowl game is going to be something different this year because for Hugh Freeze, it means everything.
He's got to make it there first.
Hey, Coach, you get a point. You had a great point, and I'll tell you why. Nobody's brought up Julian saying if he runs the table and he beats Indiana, he could very well win the Heisman as well. You don't necessarily change my mind, but I'm going to give you a point there. The Thoroughbred Havoc, and then I'm going to ask all of you guys one more question regarding this, and I want an honest answer, and the best answer will get 3 points. Havoc, what you got?
I got to say no. He's not going to win the Heisman. There's just other contenders right now, in addition to having to play an easier schedule. I'm not saying he's going to have a bad performance per se, Ty Simpson, but his road to the Heisman is a lot more difficult than these other candidates like Jeremiah Smith and Sayin from Ohio State. Jeremiah loves having a great season for Notre Dame, the starting running back. I know Carson Beck had a bad game, but he also has an easier road. Ty Simpson, yes, is he a great quarterback? Absolutely. I don't see him winning the Heisman just because the road to get there is going to be a lot more difficult for him as opposed to one of these other guys.
Hey, I do want to say I just got an update on my phone that Alabama will be without their fourth best receiver. The freshman, little Jalen Waddle, Lotzier Brooks, has been added to the injury report as doubtful as of 3 minutes ago. So hopefully that is not a major injury because that freshman can go. We still got 3 great ones, but he's definitely, you seen the 4th down catch he made against Missouri or Vanderbilt. Was it Missouri or Vanderbilt, the 4th down play? We went for it. I want to say it was Missouri. He's unreal, but hopefully it's nothing serious.
Havoc, I give you a point there. You made a great point. I think you're all right. The easier schedule may help somebody else other than Ty Simpson, and maybe that is the only reason he don't win the Heisman. Good point there. And then here's my question to wrap up this segment. And like I said, the best answer will get 3 points. And the question is, all right, one of you mentioned Haynes King. All right. So I'm going to give you a scenario here. I'm going to give you 3 players. All 3 players win out. Okay. Ty Simpson wins out and goes, would that lock up an SEC championship? I guess it would. They would go Texas A&M, right?
If who went out?
Alabama. And
if Alabama and A&M went out, they would play each other. Yes.
All right.
Both
So
teams would automatically be in the playoff regardless of that championship game.
So we take that scenario, Alabama, A&M, SEC title. Ty Simpson wins that. And then we're going to take this scenario. Number 2 is Indiana. Mendoza wins out, has great stats as well, and beats Ohio State. And then the third one, Haynes King at Georgia Tech they win out and they go undefeated and beat Georgia and win the ACC, who wins the Heisman and why? Best argument wins 3 points. Craig.
I think Mendoza still wins it. Just for the simple fact is, I seriously think he's going to have a statistically better chance to have better stats at the end of the year. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be a robbery if Ty Simpson wins out and wins the SEC championship that he don't deserve it. I'm just saying if that award is generally purely based on stats. It's all that the scenario you gave, Digos, is pretty good, except Georgia Tech still got to play Georgia. So that's going to be a hard one for Haynes King to overcome, I'm afraid. So, I mean, just looking at it as of today, and again, take this with a grain of salt because perception is 9/10 of reality. And 2 weeks ago, I thought Carson Beck was going to win the Heisman until he laid an egg. And we're not even talking about him this time. Just looking, I went over Alabama's schedule. Georgia Tech plays Georgia. The clearest path, if they just keep on clicking, is Indiana. I'm going to stick with that one as of right now anyways.
All right. Hey, two-turn. Remember, the question is, if all teams were to win out, Haynes King wins out, beats Georgia, wins the ACC, Mendoza wins out, beats OSU, and wins the Big Ten, and then Alabama wins out and beats A&M. Who wins the Heisman?
I'm going to stick with what I said, and it's not being a homer. It's just, I mean, it's clear as day. People think Alabama's the best team in the country right now. I don't truly believe that yet. I think we can be if we keep – because we're getting better every week. But if Ty Simpson continues what he's doing and they win the SEC championship, they win out. They go 11-1 after losing game one, and he throws 35-plus touchdowns, 4,000 yards. Like I said, 3 to 5 interceptions. There's no way in hell you're telling me that those Heisman voters are voting for Mendoza or Haynes King. Like, I'm not saying the Mendoza guy wouldn't be up there as the caliber of quarterback, but if you're looking at the body of work and who played who, I mean, Haynes King and Ty would both have the beat in Georgia, but Haynes King's playing Georgia at the Georgia Dome. Ty Simpson went into Athens at night and ended their 33-game win streak, the longest in SEC history, and played phenomenal. And then he goes to Missouri and wins. He beats Vandy. He beats LSU. He beats Oklahoma. He goes to Jordan-Hare and wins that game. And then he beats A&M in the championship, who's probably, if they're playing A&M, they're undefeated. So how can you say that he's not the best player on the best team if he does that? I don't see how that's possible. I get if Mendoza is undefeated, blah, 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 and they win. But at the end of the day, they haven't beat good teams. Oregon, we thought Oregon was good. They went to overtime with Penn State. And then Indiana beat Oregon. They do have a freshman quarterback who has not played legit defenses yet. Like, I'm not saying Oregon's bad, but I think they're just like last year. They're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. First game they play, they'll lose. The Big Ten is not as deep as the SEC. They're not better than the SEC. One team is. Ohio State is the best team in the Big Ten right now. There's no way right now any of y'all can tell me, since we're talking about this, that if Ohio State and Indiana play tomorrow, that you'd pick Indiana and feel confident about it. If they win out, Ty Simpson wins the Heisman. If they win out and it comes to any scenario, Ty Simpson wins out 11-1 and does what he's done, he wins the Heisman. There's no doubt about it.
Coach.
Well, I don't have a chance to win this thing anyway. So this is where I'm going to go with it. First off, Mendoza, he's exactly where I'm going to pull a little Crimson Tide from. And that's where Nick Saban was kind of warning everybody what's going to happen. So I don't look at the fact of what he's doing in Indiana and what the coach is doing in Indiana. I look at, look how that transfer portal is actually balancing out college football. As far as who was the other, Ty Simpson, it'd be nice if he goes and he wins out, because if there's one bragging thing that I would do about the SEC, regardless if it's Alabama or anybody else, is we own the Heisman. Just like I like saying that the SEC own championships. So, it's a possibility that I could sit here and say he wins out and everything and beats A&M or whatever. He could win the Heisman. I wouldn't put that past him. And who was your last one? Little King down in Georgia Tech. Listen, I'm gonna go back to what Two Turk said in the first phrase of his comment. I'm gonna be a homer. Georgia gonna knock the shit out that little B, and I don't want to hear nothing else about him. So if there's anybody that I would say is gonna win the Heisman, since I can't win this game anyway, and I'm just gonna pull me a Brian Kelly, and I'm gonna go for this fourth down here. I give it to the horse driving the Heisman car on the commercial.
Hey, the thoroughbred. Speaking of horses, the thoroughbred Havoc. What do you got to say?
Man, yeah. Okay, so the scenarios are if the Indiana quarterback wins out, Ty Simpson wins out, and Haynes King wins out. That's the scenarios, right? Okay. If that were to happen, if Ty Simpson wins out, and God, it's going to sound similar to what Tony said. I'm not trying to. My goodness. But if Ty Simpson wins out and doesn't have any major slip-ups or 5 interception performances, I really don't see how you can't give it to him. Like, his body of work is going to be so much stronger than the other guys that there's just no way you can argue not giving him the Heisman. Yeah. Like, realistically, no matter what these guys up north try to say, you just can't argue with that type of a resume if he were to do all those things, win out, and keep playing the way he's playing. So that would be my answer for that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I got to tell you this, Havoc. The way you laid it out there, Barry was throwing his hands up agreeing. Yeah. In my opinion, you laid it out there better than anybody else could have. You know, the body of work means everything. You know, that's what I was looking for. And honest to God, if any of you would have pulled the Haynes King trigger, I was ready to give you 3 points. And here's why. Haynes King, if he were to win out, all right, he's guaranteed in the playoff, and he probably gets a first-round bye. And here's the thing. In my honest opinion, he's got to be the best player in the country. I mean, he's literally doing it all for Georgia Tech. So, does Ty Simpson deserve to win it if he wins out? Like you said, Havoc, of course. And the way you put it, I 100% agree. Havoc, 3 points right there, a big one. And I think we only got one segment left. Is that right, Barry?
I think we got 2. We got this one.
Okay, here we go. So, Lane Kiffin becomes the head coach at the University of Florida and turns the program around. And what I mean by turn it around, okay, before you give me your argument, turn it around means that they are contending for SEC titles and they are in the college football playoff. They have not been relevant since the college football playoff has really expanded. So that's what I mean by this. Lane Kiffin becomes the head coach, and instantly he turns the program around. They're playing for SEC titles and in the college football playoff. Craig, listen, I know this ain't your team, but give me your best argument.
No, Lane Kiffin does not become the head coach at Florida. I don't think so. I thought that Freeman was going to be the guy. He just flat out said no. I don't know if you saw that interview, the Notre Dame coach. I mean, he just flat out said, no, I have no interest. I understand what it takes to be here. I think Lane's at a point, and now Lane Kiffin 6 years ago versus Lane Kiffin now, a whole different ball game because he was headed to Auburn and his daughter told him no. So I don't see a scenario that exists where that same thing doesn't happen for Florida. I mean, I could be dead wrong on that, Digo. So that just leads me to the second part of your question. Florida turns around. No, Florida is going to be a dumpster fire for a while. Welcome to the wonderful world of being a mediocre team in the SEC. I'm being an Auburn fan, Havoc. If you're not used to it, this is what the Auburn
yeah, I'm used to it by now.
Yeah. Yeah, so Digo, I don't think so, brother. I don't think he leaves the Grove. I really don't. I think his family is kind of rooted in there like some ticks now. I don't think he leaves the Grove.
Well, Craig, I'm gonna give you a point right off the bat. That's a great point right there. But I might give you an extra point if you can answer this question. If not Lane Kiffin, who and why?
That is a very good question. And I'm not going to answer that question because I still think there are a couple coaches on the chopping block yet to be fired this year. And what's going to happen? I don't think now that the Band-Aid's been ripped off, Florida can take their time and not do the Auburn knee-jerk reaction and actually conduct a real search and try to get the best head coach. So I don't honestly know. I have to say I'm thankful if Lane does not go to Florida, because that would be an absolute nightmare for every other team in the SEC to have the NIL and then have the recruiting and have the power behind it. So I hope he don't go. So, but I don't know who would fit in that job because there just aren't that many SEC coaches around. So who's I forgot what the favorite was. Let's see. I mean, Lane Kiffin's still the favorite. Jeff Brom from Louisville. You got Drinkowitz. I could see Drinkowitz going before I see Lane go. If they're drinking that Drinkowitz Kool-Aid, I mean, why in the hell wouldn't you go from Missouri? I don't think the situation's the same socially for Drinkowitz as it is for Lane and Ole Miss. I think that's the only – because, again, it came out after the fact. Everybody thought that Auburn's going to back the Brinks truck up to Lane Kiffin's door, and they did. And he was in working out terms, and his daughter came in the 11th hour and said, I want to be here. Don't go. And they didn't go. So that just shows you that's a different Lane Kiffin than what we're used to seeing.
Let me add something to this.
Hey, give him a point first. Give him 2 points total.
Give him 2 points right now?
2 points.
Okay. All right, listen, guys. It makes no sense for Lane to go to the University of Florida. I can argue if he goes, it hurts his legacy. Okay? Has Lane ever, as a head coach, won the SEC? No, he hasn't.
He wants to be a blonde-headed Steve Spurrier is the only thing. If his ego was in charge and that was just it, he'd be gone.
He can't. He has not won the SEC. His winning percentage in SEC about slightly above 500. Fellas, what we're experiencing right here is the college coaching carousel that we get every year. You can script this shit, man. It's the same conversation, and Lane is always driving the train. The little
every year
carousel every year. Fellas, if he leaves Ole Miss, it's just like another job. There's only a few jobs in football right now, in my opinion. That's Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and I'm going to go ahead and say LSU. Them the schools, man. If you leave for anybody other than that, you're just doing it for the money. You're just doing it for the money. You ain't doing it for the legacy. If he takes the Florida job, he's selling out. That's how I feel about it. He just selling out. Because guess what? You still got to see Ryan Day. You still got to see Mahama. You still got to, you got to see the team that you haven't beaten. So all he's going to do is get a bag of money and go to Florida and still lose to all of those people. So in my opinion, it hurts your legacy if you go and take these jobs, even if you get a few more pennies. So that ought to make it harder for these guys.
Barry, that's a great point. But I think, I don't know. I think it's one of those where I have to disagree. I think Florida is a destination job, and here's why. It's recruiting. Yes, you have NIL money. Every school in the SEC has that. So you're not hurting there. So if you get a big name hire in Florida, I mean, I've seen Florida high school football. I've seen Georgia high school football. I've seen Alabama high school football. is some good talent. And Florida has failed to recruit from in-state. They failed to recruit from Georgia. They failed to recruit from Alabama, and it's because of head coaches. It's because of the team. You know, I'm sorry, but if anybody in their right mind wanted to go play for Billy Napier, no way. But what I want to go play in the middle of the swamp where they made Gatorade for Lane Kiffin, yeah, I would. So here's the thing. I just think that this would be a knockout hire. To me, this is like if Urban Meyer were to leave, who would you want? Lane Kiffin. So I will throw this out there, and if somebody can give me a good argument, I'd love to hear it. If you are the Florida Gators, do you take Sir John Gruden? Yes, and why?
2 times.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna start out with a hard hell no. Look, I don't care what this guy did in the NFL. It's a whole. We see it with Belichick. It's a whole different game. Even if Belichick has success, it's gonna be 3 to 4 years when he does. We thought Gruden was going to turn the Raiders around when he came back. What did they do? They were shit. I mean, I love Gruden. What has he done in the last 15 years to prove to anybody that he could have success anywhere, let alone the college level? The dude he's not in touch with it like he was in 2003. But I'm going to move on from that and get back to this. I don't think Lane Kiffin goes to Florida. I don't think it would be smart for Lane Kiffin. Barry talked about legacy, and I don't agree with Barry much. I don't think Kiffin had much of a legacy anyway, because let's be real about it. Before he went to Saban's rehabilitation school, I mean, he'd been fired everywhere he went. He left, went to FAU, did a little good, and got where he's at now, and he's barely staying above the water. It ain't like he's doing crazy things. His best win is the one win against Georgia. Other than that, he's beaten Brian Kelly. He wins a big game, then he loses the Egg Bowl to Mississippi State. I mean, I don't think it's a home run hire by any means, and I don't think it's a smart move by him because Florida is not in a good place. They're having to pay Napier $50 million. I mean, it'd be dumb as a university to throw that much money at Lane Kiffin just off of, he puts up points. Like, I get the recruiting aspect, but at the same time, no one wants to go to Florida right now. If I'm Lane Kiffin, to be completely honest with you, if I have 2 teams on the phone right now between Florida and Penn State, I'm going to Penn State. You have a weaker conference. You have a team, as Havoc has said, the guy before the guy. Lane Kiffin could go to Penn State and play for a national championship within 3 years. I wouldn't say he'd win it. He could play for a national simply because Penn State does recruit itself, despite what people think. They are normally good. Who are they playing? Lane Kiffin's offense against Rutgers, Minnesota, freaking Northwestern? Come on now. It'd be the same thing as Cignetti at Indiana. Until he played the Ohio States and Indiana, they're going to blow everybody out by 30. The only other job that I honestly think Lane Kiffin would leave for is the LSU job. But I do want to throw one quick thing in there. If Lane Kiffin proves me wrong and does go to Florida, and Brian Kelly was to get fired from LSU, the entire LSU program is a bunch of idiots if their first phone call isn't to the Buffalo Bills and trying to get Joe Brady back on that sideline as their head coach. That is the home run hire.
Good point. You got to give him 3 points. Give him 6.
That's a great point. I'll give you a great point. I will say this, TJ. You lost me there. I don't even know where to go next. It's the only reason you don't get 3 points.
How many points you gave him on that?
2 points for sure.
Okay.
You want to hear my reasoning why John Gruden?
Yeah. Craig was about to go. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah, because the day and age in college football, it's more and more like the pros of free agency and the NIL and the portal. We have not seen. I'm not trying to say that Belichick was not a great coach of the Patriots in the situation he was in, but I mean, let's all be real. When he rolled down to North Carolina, was anybody expecting them to contend for the playoffs? No. I mean, he wants out of there. He was down there for his little girlfriend. But I think Gruden's a different animal entirely because he could run it. And he's not – I wouldn't say he doesn't have the ego for it. He's smart enough to hire good coordinators. And I think this day and age with the portal and the NIL, especially coming from that situation, not understanding recruiting, and I'm not saying recruiting is not important because it is. It definitely is not as important as it used to be. I mean, Lane Kiffin's made a living on flipping the portal every year. So I think if you got a guy in there like Gruden that could get a good team around him and pick his own guys out, I think that'd be dangerous with some NIL money and some money to spend in the portal. And unlimited free agency is effectively what college football is right now. So I have a hard time thinking that guy couldn't win there. And I agree. You know, nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes at the Raiders when he was there because dude got fired for sending nasty emails. So there ain't no telling what was going on in the locker room. But he's been foaming at the mouth to go. So I think Gruden could make an impact at an SEC school. That's my personal opinion. And I like the guy.
I like the guy too. He's almost like a myth and a legend at this point. And he loves SEC football. I mean, he came to I think it was a Georgia practice, and he was like, you guys make me want to coach an SEC team. And if I got the opportunity, he would do it.
About Auburn. Every time he goes to a school like that, he visits. He talked about Auburn being a great football town. I mean, he wants to coach somewhere.
And I think he will get his opportunity.
But guys, there is such a thing as being out of it too long. Like I said, when he has
not with him. I mean, this guy's not an idiot.
You changed my mind this time. Why? Why not with him? He was out of it for however long. For what? Or give me something.
Let me tell you why.
Tony, about Gruden, you're not right. John Gruden, he is a football savant.
I love Gruden.
His family, he's bred into this.
Do y'all ever watch his podcast where he breaks down football?
Yes. He's the best at film study.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a football camp with college kids every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's saying he's out of touch might be a bit of a stretch. Now, could he
in my opinion, if John Gruden does not get to coach football again, it hurts the whole brand of football.
I'm not saying he won't get a chance.
Should be able to coach football.
No, he will get a chance, but he's not going to do what y'all are saying he's going to do, in my opinion. Like, at the end of the day, it still comes down to being able to relate to high school and college kids and getting them to run through a wall for you.
Why would he not?
But why would he? He's used to NFL guys. Like, he's used to not having to be that aggressive. I mean, he can be aggressive, but guys, you pay this guy X amount of money, he's going to, even though you're paying kids in college, they are getting tighter on this stuff. You're having to send every NIL deal to a third party through the NCAA to get approved. There's no more handing out $400,000 under the table. Bill Belichick's got 1,000 freaking violations right now because he thought he could do things like he did in the NFL in college. It's a whole bunch of hurdles. Like, you have to get in to a school. You got to hire the perfect coaches. Then you got to learn the culture of the school and the kids that you're bringing in and build all that. I just don't see a guy who hasn't coached but for 1 or 2 seasons in the last 20 years coming into this day and age of college football where guys like Kirby Smart are trying to scramble their head to figure out what to do next to where he's just got it figured out. I'm not doubting him as a football mind.
Tony, look, I don't care if you're working at Apple or Microsoft or whoever, dude. You have a team. You have a system. You have support. His job is going to be football and motivating. And I'm going to tell you, I believe whenever I hear that man talk, when he talk about football, he's dead serious about football.
Like I said, I agree.
I'm not saying he don't promise he can promise you a title, but to say that he can't motivate, if he can't motivate you, you dead.
Well,
he would be a home run hire.
If he gets hired, I don't see it working out. I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, nothing is guaranteed, but it's worth a look. Is all I'm saying.
You're coming from an Alabama standpoint. You hadn't been in the doldrums. You forgot about the Mike Shula days. It's been so long for you.
It doesn't have nothing to do with Alabama. I'm just thinking of it as a cultural thing. Like,
no, I know, but I'm just telling you, like, if you want to talk about electrifying a fan base, I mean, hell, Auburn got fired about Hugh Freeze, who I thought was a mid coach when they made the hire. and got the NIL lined up and got other people behind the program to get all this money for recruiting, Florida would go absolute bonkers if they had a home run hire like that. What do you think, Havoc? Yes or no?
Well, there was the other question too with Kiffin. John Gruden, I don't know about Gruden. I mean, I liked him with Tampa Bay, but that's the last time he's been good, and he won the Super Bowl in 2002. I'm kind of with Tony. Like, Gruden's style of offense doesn't work nowadays. Like, the NFL's evolved. It's a quicker tempo. I don't know if Gruden ball works now. I mean, we'll have to find out. But
hey, real quick, Havoc, you know who is running a side of a Gruden ball?
49ers.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And
but he's changed it a little, yeah.
I mean, hey, that Spider 2Y banana.
Spider 2Y banana. No, but the Kiffin hire, Kiffin. Now, the pro wrestler in me might come out here, and I might sound a little delusional. But I got to say, yeah, I think we're going to hire him. I think he needs Florida. I think we need him. And I don't think his ego will allow him to not take the job. I think he's an egomaniac in disguise. And I think the prestige of that program is what's going to attract him to the job. Now, it depends on the money. Now, the money has to be there. But if the money's there, I think he'd take the job. His ego won't allow him not to take it.
The money is always going to be there for a hire like that. If they want him, the money is there.
I want to see it. I do. I have it. I want to give you 2 points. You didn't change my mind because I brought it up, but I'm going to give you 2 points right there. I'm going to let Barry tally up the score.
Did we miss?
I ain't go.
We ain't got Coach.
Yeah, Coach didn't go.
Yeah.
And did we mix any points for 2 turns?
No, we're straight.
No, because let's see.
It was 2 points.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Okay, because all right. I feel like two turn is missing a point, but let's go ahead with Coach.
And then after Coach, I think we got one more slide. So,
well, honestly, I don't think Lane is going anywhere right now because LSU is the fit for him. His brand and all, LSU is the fit. So whatever happens in Baton Rouge is going to determine what's going to go on with Lane. Now, 2 coaches nobody's talking about. One is already available. The other one will be. And that's James Franklin and Dabo Swinney. Because the problem with Florida is they need a culture change and get back to your Tim Tebow, John 3:16. Because no matter how much talent there is in Florida, there's a 5-star drive-by shooter and there's a 5-star Christian athlete. And they both came out of the state of Florida. Guess which one the Gators always get? So you need a coach that can come in and change the culture at Florida before you can worry about what you're doing with the talent. Because it's not like they fell off the map totally under Napier on talent. It's just a simple fact. The culture at Florida is what it used to be at Miami. They get the bad kids. So when you get a coach that can come in and not let the players dictate what our identity is, then you'll turn a program around. So Florida, if it's going to be a hire for them, they need like I said, a James Franklin, or if Dabo loses out with Clemson. And the one thing that'll help Dabo the most is at Clemson, he had to play this. Whoever comes here, that's who's staying here. That's who we're going with. We're not going to the portal, but you put him at Florida, and I guarantee you, Dabo takes a bulldozer instead of a shovel to the portal, and his attitude changes about what athletes to get to compete. But they need a culture change.
And Coach, Dabo won't work in Florida.
Hey, let me.
Dabo ain't ready for that smoke.
Barry, I got to tell you
That's who
this
he
right now.
is.
Hold on. Coach Price, not only am I going to give you a point for making a great point early on, but when you threw it over to Dabo Swinney, taking over the Florida Gators, I might shock the world here, but I got to give you 3 points, and here's why. Because you just changed my mind. You talk about Dabo Swinney coming to Florida and bringing back the John 3:16. I'll tell you what he's going to bring back is the Austin 3:16, and that means I'm going to kick your ass. And that's what the Florida Gators could very well do under Dabo Swinney. And I will tell you this,
Yeah,
it would cause a shock in college football to the max. And I think, I'll be honest with you, Florida would become top 10, top 5 in recruiting immediately.
No
And
way.
Dabo Swinney can win. He's
Hell
smart. He's already won with people that were in, rocket science class at wide receiver. And he had a guy at wide receiver who was completely bald by the time he got out of college, winning national titles. And a guy who loved massages. He won a national title with that guy. So going to Florida,
Swinney is overrated.
Barry, you don't even have to say anything. I'm gonna sum this up real quick.
Yeah,
Dalton, that
Coach
whole
Price
idea,
is right, and it hurts, but he's right.
Let me tell both of y'all that ain't worth the red velvet painting of a
But
whale
you,
and a
that's
dolphin
what I'm
getting in
saying. The whole point of saying Dabo was culture change. He can win, but but you got to look at it. He was winning off of recruits, and he's losing by not stepping into the portal. But you got Indiana and Vandy all in the portal, and they're winning. So Dabo realizes that, hey, the portal works, but I've made this quote unquote promise. If your kid comes here, he's going to play here. I'm not going to go out in the portal, and I'm not going to get anybody to replace him. Well, look where he's at right now. So his whole mindset is going to change.
Coach, nobody wants to see a stripper in a nun outfit. And
Coach,
that's what it's gonna be. And that's what it's gonna be if Dabo goes to Florida.
No,
Dabo
needs
is a guy.
is somebody,
you know what it's going to be, guys?
Somebody who can go down there and deal with the kind of guys that they got. You want
Dabo is an SEC guy.
Listen,
I'm talking about.
here's what's going to happen, guys.
Have to deal with.
They made a 30 for 30 series on the preacher, the rapist, and the whoever, Riley Cooper and the murderer, Aaron Hernandez. What's going to happen when Dabo Swinney come down there? They going to come out with part 2. When Billy Graham come down to Florida and washed all the sins away and took them back to the Holy Land, that's what could happen. I'm telling you, Dabo Swinney could be the savior of Florida. And in 5 years on the Chop and Block podcast, there could only be 2 of us left from anxiety problems and depression.
If I'm here in 5 years and Dabo Swinney goes to Florida, I'm just going to stand here butt naked and laugh at y'all.
Hey, that was a great point. But hey, give us a total right here, and then I've got one final round question.
All right, Craig. Let's see, 3, 5, 10, 13 for Craig. Looks like 9 for Tony. 9 for Coach, and 5, 6, 7, 10 for Havoc. So Craig is actually wreaking havoc.
All right. Well, hey, this last question is worth 5 points, which would give any of you the win. And there can only be one winner on Inside the Lines. And if you win tonight, you will be given 2 minutes to give us your final thought. Anything you want the Chop and Block podcast universe to know. You have 2 minutes. So the final question tonight. I know you're waiting. The final question tonight. All right. Who is the 4th SEC team to make it in the college football playoff this year, and why? Craig, start it off.
The fourth team, and you want me to
The
give you a
fourth.
reason why? Let's see. I'm going to say Oklahoma. And the reason I'm going to say Oklahoma is because if they beat Ole Miss, I think you're effectively knocking Ole Miss out. I think I'm not sure what Oklahoma's remaining schedule is, but I know it was relatively favorable if I remember it. Let me look real quick.
I got you.
What you
They
got?
They got Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, Mizzou, and LSU. So they got
Yeah,
LSU.
no chance.
Yeah. I mean, if they lose one of those games, I think they make it in. But that's going to be a tough road. It's SEC's eating itself, man. I mean, I think we got everybody agrees on the three, right? Georgia, Bama, and probably A&M would be 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, who else other than you think Ole Miss is going to go versus them? I mean, I think that's kind of a coin toss there. I got it.
I think that's why this is tough. You know, the fourth team is the one we can't think about. And look, I don't think Oklahoma's a bad choice because if they win all those games,
Hold on,
I mean, they're going to be the second one probably.
Let me change that and be a homer. Let me change that to Vanderbilt.
Damn you, Craig. God.
Just to make – now that I was thinking about schedule, I didn't realize that Oklahoma hadn't played Bama this year. I'm going to change it to Vandy.
I think that's a great pick.
There. I'm going from Oklahoma to Vanderbilt. And anchor down, baby.
Yeah, because when you look at Vandy's remaining,
my beautiful baby boy Diego.
They can do it.
Hey, you know, it almost seems like if Vandy wins this weekend, they're in.
I mean,
but hey, two-term.
Yeah, you know, Craig decided to steal my pick at the last second there. Yeah, Vanderbilt was 100% going to be my pick, and it was going to be my pick regardless as if they go 11-1 or 10-2. I think Vanderbilt at 10-2 makes the college football playoff. If you watch Vanderbilt play, and I didn't believe Kevin Davis, he's watching, when he said it, I didn't believe they were real before they played us. I honestly didn't believe they were real after they played us. I thought we exposed Pavia. I was wrong. We just knocked him around silly, and he just finally had a bad game. He blamed it on religion, said he got away from God and he had to get back on track, and that's why God humbled him. That's what Pavia did. That's a smart move, I guess. But no, dude, their team is really good. They're great in the trenches, which you have to have a chance to win the national championship. Due to the new college football rules, they limit teams' possessions. If they get a lead on you at any point, the pressure is on you to score every time you touch the ball. Because if they get a lead and you don't score, they're going to have a 7 to 8 minute drive that either ends in points or you're going to have the ball at your own 5-yard line. You got to go 95 yards, and then you're going to waste your own 6-7 minutes just trying to get down the field to tie the game in which you're dead. I think Vanderbilt's an obvious choice to make the playoff right now, in my opinion. Like I said, if it comes down to them even having 2 losses, that's why I asked y'all the other day, if it comes down to 2-loss Vanderbilt and 2-loss Notre Dame for that final spot, if they go by their true criteria, there's no way you put Notre Dame in over Vanderbilt unless it's by you're going by the brands. But I'm going to say that's the 4th team. And if there is a 5th team that gets in from the SEC, it'll be Tennessee.
Stop it.
Thoroughbred.
Damn it, guys. Vanderbilt for me, too. I mean, it's just that was going to be my pick. Pavia made a believer out of me last week after I said he was going to have a bunch of turnovers. So, yeah, Vanderbilt.
You're muted.
Coach.
Well, everybody said Vandy, and I would agree with it. But, you know, just because I'm going to be me, I'm going to be the little bad apple in the bunch. And I say LSU gets in if it's a 4th team.
No.
And why?
Bold Move, Cotton.
Why? It's for the main reason that Craig brought it up. The SEC is beating each other to death right now. TJ just got through reporting the player was hurt at practice. Everything that goes on like that is a factor. So LSU could get that surprising win or just this weekend. You never can tell. Everything could be shook up. So we're already looking at it may not be 4 teams, but if it is, I say it could be LSU.
I love you, Coach, but I just don't see it.
I had to be the worm in that apple. Bandy was just too
So
perfect of it.
LSU would have to win out, correct?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And not just win out, they'd have to leave no doubt and win out. They'd have to have a blowout game somewhere in there.
Yeah.
They'd have to have a
No, just
convincing
got to
win.
win out.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know how I can give a winner when it all unfolded like that. So I'm going to give one more question. I have to. We're going to have a true winner tonight.
See what the worm does? You got to throw the bucket away.
It was terrible. You know, all of y'all had the same idea, and you kind of got lucky there. So for the final marbles right here, who is in? What'd you say?
What team? How about this? What team right now that we're calling a favorite in the SEC that may slip up and have 2 bad weeks in a row and don't make it to the playoffs?
I think the question is this: what do you?
That's a 3-loss team.
We've got all these teams with 1 loss, and then we've got 2 now that are undefeated in the SEC, right? A&M and Alabama. I think this comes down to some of those middle teams. You know, is there a way Georgia gets into the SEC championship if they win? If they kind of lose, does it mess somebody else up? I mean, is there a possibility that the SEC really does get a 5th team in?
No.
And if so, who is it?
No.
And then why should they get over? I guess what we would have to say is a 3rd or 4th Big Ten team, and then I guess they'd be 1 from the Big 12, and then how does that all unfold? I don't see how.
They're 100%.
Craig, TJ.
No, go ahead, Craig. Craig, you got it. I'll go after.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for flies and ointments. You made a good point there. Coach made a good point about you never know when somebody's going. I mean, it's still, regardless of there is parity even in the SEC. We're all talking about Alabama and like it's a foregone conclusion. It's not. That's why the games are played. So a good question about the championship game. If you're talking about like a surprise 5th team, you could Ole Miss maybe go on a heater. Lose one this week and go on a heater. I mean, stranger things have happened. I mean, you're just trying to get in the top 12, right? That's what. I mean, that would be my pick probably for the 5th team. He mentioned. I'm just not impressed with UT as of this one. As TJ was saying earlier, that would be the 5th team, his 5th team. I think Ole Miss stands a better shot just on strength of schedule and their losses. Yeah. And again, it's so early because they hadn't really had a bad loss. I mean,
think about this,
losing, they didn't get blown out, which I think a lot of people assume they would just get blown out in Athens. I thought they would actually win that game.
And think about this, Craig. If Ole Miss, which I think they beat Oklahoma. If they beat Oklahoma, they just got South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, and Mississippi State left.
Yeah, but then they're like the 4th team in. I mean, we're talking about the 5th team, right?
Yeah.
So I can't really go against my pick. I do think Oklahoma wins this Saturday for the reasons I said before. If that's wrong, then hell, next week it's a whole different conversation. That's the glory about college football, fellas.
Yeah.
We could have this same conversation next week and have a whole different group of players. We don't know. I had no idea.
All right,
Tony,
you ready? So I'm glad Craig brought that up about Tennessee, but I do want to say real quick, it don't matter what Craig's showing his Auburn colors. Anytime we say something good about Bama, he wants to throw it out of us falling apart. I'm sick of hearing it. But anyways.
Yeah, say something good about Auburn.
I think I have a beautiful campus.
All right, there we go.
All right. So there's definitely going to be 4 SEC teams in. I do think there can be 5. So let's look at it real quick. There will be, 3 Big Ten teams in it? Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State. There'll be at least 3 SEC teams in. That's 6. 1 Big 12 team, 7. 2 ACC teams, 9. Group of 5, 10. Am I missing a conference right now?
No, that's it.
Let's say
ACC.
He said ACC. He said 2 for the ACC.
So 4, 6, 7, 10. So at least 2 spots. Let's say Notre Dame's
good. Notre Dame, that could leave for a 5th.
Say Notre Dame's in right there.
Yeah.
You're telling me that last spot, you're telling me that 12th spot doesn't go to a 10-2 or 9-3 SEC team?
Yep.
You're out of your mind. And let me tell you why I said Tennessee would be the 5th team if they do it. Tennessee plays Vanderbilt the last game of the regular season in Neyland Stadium. So you're telling me if Vanderbilt is 10-1 going into Neyland Stadium with their only loss being to Alabama, who is also at this point, we're assuming just for the scenario that Alabama's 10-1 also going into Auburn, and Alabama beats Auburn's 11-1. You're telling me if Tennessee beats Vanderbilt and makes Vanderbilt 10-2 and Tennessee's 10-2, because Vanderbilt's already in at that point. You're telling me Tennessee don't get that last spot over any other 2-loss team, including 2-loss Ole Miss?
Now,
you call it for Tennessee. So you call it for Tennessee to beat Oklahoma then?
100%. 100%.
Y'all be
Now see, you got Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Vandy right there. Now you tell me that the SEC isn't relevant.
But Barry, the reason I'm saying that about I don't think Mateer's going to last. He's already hurt. I mean, I watched the audio of his last game, even the one they won. He's after the game talking about how bad his hand hurts after the game, like on the field, how bad it's killing him right now. The first quarter, he almost had to come out, is what he was telling the other quarterback. I don't think he's going to make it. I think he's going to re-injure that hand and be done. And and they got to go to Tennessee. Tennessee's got him at home. I'm not a huge believer in Tennessee, but I don't think they're bad, and I think their pass rush is pretty good.
Sound like you just want a little.
I'm just saying, I do think the SEC can get 5. If they do get 5, I think Tennessee will be the 5th team.
Interesting.
I don't see Vandy losing to Tennessee.
If they're 10-1, I'm with you, Coach. That's a big if. There's a hell of a lot of big ifs. Everybody in this phone right now would love their team to be 10-1 coming up to week 12.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because
it ain't gonna happen that way, I promise you.
Because with the scenario he just brought up with Vandy and Tennessee, you got to realize you're in a regular season conference game, but you're actually playing a play-in game. So you're actually first rounding it the last game of the regular season.
Yep.
That's exactly my point. You remember a couple weeks ago when I said, at what point do you want to be the 2nd or 3rd or 4th best SEC team and avoid the SEC championship game altogether?
Yep.
That would be the perfect scenario for that to happen. If we get 5 teams in, I like 4 and 5 or 3, 4 and 5 sitting better than 1 and 2, unless it's just domination in the championship game, because you don't have to run your head to brick wall again for an extra week for no reason.
Hey, Coach, before I throw it to you, I think, one thing that could also not necessarily hurt the SEC, but almost help the SEC is, if Alabama and A&M goes to the title game and A&M wins, I mean, it's A&M, Alabama still getting first-round buys, and then I think you really solidify 3 other teams in the SEC, because you got to think those would be the 2 undefeated teams. So I mean, they're both locked. The 3's locked, which would probably be, I guess, Georgia. If they were to win out, they would be the 3. The 4, like y'all said, it could be Vandy and Tennessee, but I don't think it can be both of them, right? I don't think it can be both. It can't be Vandy 4 and Tennessee 5.
Why not, though?
They got to play each other.
That's what I'm saying, though. If you're telling me both teams, if you're telling me Vandy's 10-1 when they play Tennessee and Tennessee's 9-2, and Tennessee wins that game and they're both 10-2, that they're not both getting in?
No,
Tennessee-
I'm saying that if Vandy wins that game, Tennessee's not getting in.
Oh yeah, because that gives them their third loss.
Yeah.
But my scenario was Tennessee beating Vandy, and they're both 10-2.
Right. That's my argument. Is like I don't think what I'm trying to say is I don't know who would be that team that comes in fourth then or fifth. If Vandy beats Tennessee to end the season, somebody else is going to have 2 losses.
It's gonna be Ole Miss
Yeah, or Oklahoma.
or Oklahoma.
So there's so much. Again, this conversation is going to be totally different in 7 days.
Yeah.
That's
So
the great thing
Dalton-
about football season, fellas. Even though my team sucks, it sure is fun to watch on the weekends. Talk about it.
Man, I love it. So Dalton, I'm gonna have to gut most of the NFL show because we have run too late.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Really don't even feel like we've been on that long. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with whatever points we had. Whoever was in the lead is gonna win because, to honest to God, you all killed it there at the end. So whoever was coming in to that last round with the lead, I believe was Craig. I could be wrong.
That's Craig. It's definitely.
But
Craig.
you have won the Inside the Lines opening show, and you have the final thought, and then you can pass it to Barry. Tell us anything and everything you want.
Well, I know this will just be a second here. This won't take long because I know you guys keep up the news, and I saw the story break on the Auburn boards earlier. And I don't want to hear anything because I know there's a bunch of Georgia fans that listen to the show and maybe some Oklahoma fans that listen to the show. And you didn't hear me talk about, hey, Auburn won that game. Auburn did this. Auburn did that. On the 2 games, they got absolutely pooch screwed in by the officials. How bad are the officials when you absolutely – the SEC comes back and even mentions it. The guy is suspended indefinitely. He just announced his retirement today. How bad do you officiate a game that had the effect of the outcome? Competitive balance is what SEC likes to call it. And what does it amount to? I mean, they don't make that much money. It's like $1,500 to $3,000 a game. They all have full-time jobs. I did verify there is a guy named Ken Williamson who is a realtor that lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That looks just like that guy, but it's not him. I have relatives my cousin is a realtor in Tuscaloosa, and I made that phone call and asked her straight up, and she said no, different guy. Because I was like, man, if you want to talk, put your tinfoil hat on. If that dude sold real estate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I was going to wear a tinfoil hat tonight and act like I was crazy. But that's not the case. But just to reiterate my point, how bad is the officiating? And I don't care what you believe, what call was missed. The officials 100% had a direct outcome on both of those games, both of them. And I'm not trying to be a homer or a bug or whatever you want to call me. And if that would have been y'all's team on the other side of that, you'd feel the same way I do. And I think everybody knows that. And that's all I got, Digo.
Hey, I don't know if there could ever be a better final thought than that because you are absolutely right. I mean, and I hate to say it because one of those teams was my team. But you know what? When y'all said that he might be a real estate agent in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I said, man, this is the payback for them damn trees. This is, this has got to do with them trees, man. There's somebody else, another attack here. And, hey, Craig, you hit it on the head right there. I don't know what to think, but I do think he should have retired. And the SEC has got to do better screening because, hey, if they need a guy to go out there and do these games, I will do it this Saturday. So, SEC, if you're listening. Yeah, I mean, just don't let me do the Georgia game because, I will start tripping and throwing flags, and we're going to get payback. But I just ruined my chances of being an SEC official. But hey, Barry, take it away for the NFL show.
I'm gonna make this small and condensed and get you guys out of here. I had a good show, man, but this college show was smoking. So we'll just do what we can real quick. So I want to start off with the chopper of the week. And as you can see, TJ in 2 turn is still not in first place. He wants
moving on up. Moving on up.
Hey, I want to throw these results are skewed because I saw Coach Price. He was clapping his hands.
Hey, but no matter how it goes, at the end of the day, it's still a 6-point lead to make up, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, and I just want to say, Havoc,
Don't give them touchdowns.
Havoc, you done made to miss a whole week, I think, man. You've been killing it. And but TJ, I gotta give you your props. I gotta give you your props. You doing your thing.
Hey, but has anybody got a deuce?
Oh, no,
I got a King Henry week.
All right, guys, real quick, some trivia. And don't use your AI. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. These 5 questions, just look over them. If you know the answer to them, just put them in a private chat, or you can just say it out. What is the smallest NFL stadium by capacity?
Titans.
I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Chicago Bears.
And Coach, I think you may be right. Which team has the worst winning percentage in NFL history?
It's got to be the Panthers.
Oh.
I would say
Browns.
Worst winning.
I'm going the Browns.
Damn you,
in NFL history. Worst in NFL history. I'm gonna
Tennessee
say
Titans. I'm gonna take the Titans this time.
Okay. Who you got? Who y'all?
Or the Houston Oilers.
You have it. Who you think?
The Browns.
Okay. Who is the only commentator to call a Super Bowl on all 4 major networks?
Super Bowl?
Al Michaels.
Okay.
I'm not even old enough to know who the hell that is. But,
Al Michaels?
I'm just messing with
I want to go old school and say John Madden.
All right. And then
Hey, wait, let me ask this. All 4 major networks, that's ESPN, NBC, ABC, and what? Fox?
CBS and Fox.
CBS and Fox. It's not ESPN.
Oh, yeah, not ESPN. CBS, Fox, ABC, or NBC.
And ABC.
Which nickname do Steelers fans use to refer to a certain legendary touchdown that occurred on the net? That sounds about right.
The what?
Yeah, the
miraculous catch.
Which NFL team has the most Hall of Famers?
Steelers.
49ers.
Steelers.
Okay. And which team holds the record for the longest regular season winning streak?
The New England Patriots.
No.
Here's the answer.
Oh.
I'm going to say Chicago.
Yeah,
Soldier Field was right. Tampa Bay Bucks, guys, the worst winning percentage.
Yeah, they did have a terrible 70s and 80s. I knew it was John Madden.
The immaculate reception.
Wow, Chicago Bears have the most?
Yeah,
Chicago has the most
in
Hall
the
of
40s
Fame.
and 50s.
And Indianapolis Colts, guys.
Wow, the Colts. I didn't think of that one at all.
There you
Peyton
go.
Manning.
Yeah, I would say that's like when they won the Super Bowl, they went on that stretch, and then the year before or the year after, they went on like what, 10 in a row, 11 in a row.
I hear
Good
something.
trivia there, B.
I hear something.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought it was a truck.
New segment.
Two-turn bankroll looking like a trophy. I'm cashing out plays while they watching closely. Ice on the wrist, picks cold as the snow. I don't follow trends, I just let the money grow. Lines getting cooked, I'm the chef with the flame. Stacking up wins, put respect on my name. Bet slip heavy, I don't flinch, I finesse. This that bling bling talk, it's two-turn bets.
All right, baby. Two-turn bet. The new segment. Me and Two-Term had something cooking in the background. He's going to hit us up. Listen, guys, this is how we're going to do this segment right here. This segment right here is just for Two-Term. We're gonna start. We're gonna give him $1,000 of chopping block money, and we're gonna keep up with this balance. And he's gonna give us 4 bets, 2 from the college, 2 from the NFL every week, and we're gonna update this balance. We're gonna see if he grows the money or if he make us go broke. That's how we're gonna do this set. So he's gonna have to put his money. He's gonna have to put his money where his mouth is on this one. Let's go, Two-Turn.
All right. So I'm going to start with my 2 college games first. If I had to throw my money down today on 2 games this weekend, first, I'm throwing $250 on the Virginia Cavaliers to cover 9.5 points over the North Carolina Tar Heels. They are terrible. And Virginia, they have completely turned around. I think they win this game by double that amount. The second game.
250 on them, right?
Yep. We on 250 each bet. Get to 1,000, correct?
All right.
I'm throwing 250 more. If I could throw more, I would throw a lot more. I'm taking Mississippi State to cover the spread at home against Texas. Mississippi State is a 6.5 point underdog. I don't think them Longhorns. You ever seen what a damn Longhorn does when cowbells start ringing? They don't know what to do. They start shaking their horns, running back and forth. They don't know what that, like they got mad cow disease. Mississippi State covers. Now we're gonna move over to the NFL, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Both of these picks might. Well, I'll say one of them is gonna surprise you. So I'm gonna go with the obvious one first. And Beast of Kane is not gonna like it. He might like when I first say it. For some reason, those middle of the road, barely got any tread on the tire Houston Texans are favored this weekend over the San Francisco 49ers. You want to talk about just giving away easy money? I don't even have to think about this. I've done threw the money on the table. I'm taking the 49ers to cover. It's only a 0.5 point underdog.
Surprise.
But they're not only going to win this game. 0.5 point, they don't even need it. So the 49ers are going to beat the Texans. And here's the surprise of the day. I'm not going to say I'd bank on it, but, you know, I always have that one little bet, that one little pick that everybody disagrees with. And most of the time, Two-Turn wins it. When everyone else picks opposite, Two-Turn wins it when he's alone. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys to cover in Denver and not only cover, but beat the Broncos. Dak Prescott on that ass.
Okay, this is so crazy. This man, I thought he was going to be a little bit more conservative. This man, I spent all the money in 1 week. So if he loses all 4 bets, the chopping block is dead broke.
That means we ain't gonna be on EBT. We on that TTB.
Exactly. So we're gonna see what he does with this.
And if we win, we go into sizzling.
There we go. Hey guys, this is what I wanted your guys' opinion on. Ain't no love. Roger that. Okay. For which QB and coach does this game mean more to personally, guys? This is Aaron Rodgers. And Jordan Love is coming to the Steel City, baby. This game right here, I almost forgot about this game. All right, Steve Dalton, what do you think about this? Ain't no love and Roger that.
Oh, I just knew that you would call on me knowing my hatred for Aaron Rodgers. And here's the thing. This is a, Brett Favre returning to Lambeau Field type of game where everybody just hates him. He's wearing the ugly Vikings uniform. This is Randy Moss catching a touchdown pass and Joe Buck saying Randy Moss is a despicable, showing from Randy Moss or whatever he said when he acted like he mooned the crowd. This game is all about, can the Packers help their fan base out? I mean, they play in the middle of a neighborhood, if you didn't know that. You can look it up, Google it. Lambeau Field in the middle of a neighborhood. This is all for the Packers. If they beat Aaron Rodgers, there'll be a celebration in the middle of that 70s show neighborhood.
Have it. What you got on this?
Man, it definitely means more to Rodgers personally. It has to. I mean, he played all those years there. Hell, he was his rookie year, Jordan Love was probably in elementary school. So, I mean, it's definitely means more to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think so too. This is for all the cheese, Coach. What you got?
Man, you know what I got on this. This is going to be the game where my guy comes out and he shows you the title belt that he used to show in his celebration. Aaron Rodgers has always been that guy. I don't care what nobody says. He's always been that guy. He can make the throws that you couldn't imagine. His mind is in another zone. If you want to look at Patrick Mahomes, that's where he actually gets his mac and cheese from. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. And I can't wait till that game come on because I love that famous cadence of Green 18. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers is going to show Green Bay that, guys, I wasn't done. I was just dinged up.
Ooh, boy, you just made me want to watch this game even more. Two-turn.
Yeah, I think this game means more to the Packers by far because I've been real critical of the Packers all year. I think we know what we got with the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. You got great defense. Aaron Rodgers is going to make most of the plays that, like Coach Price said, he is the guy. Discount double check D's. You can't say Aaron Rodgers isn't that guy. This dude just threw the ball 67 yards in the air the other day on a Hail Mary going to his opposite throwing shoulder at 67 years old, drawing Social Security. Like, get out of here. But this game is so much more to the Packers because Jordan Love is the most inconsistent superstar in the NFL. This dude has Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes-like potential, and then he goes around and he looks like Jamarcus Russell sometimes. Not that bad, obviously, but you get the point. He's got to get to where he's consistent. And if he can't get consistent, the Packers trading for Micah Parsons don't matter. Jerry Jones wins. And then the Packers just are what they've always been, losers.
Ooh, second-hand citizen. Get him straight.
I got Aaron. It's more important for Aaron. And Mike Tomlin looking like Mr. Garvey there with the he got one of them blowout fades. He's got the tightest beard in the NFL, boy. He comes in, that thing is tight. His barber is paid six figures a year, I promise you. But it means more to the Packers. It's a home game. Excuse me, the Steelers. Just simple fact, it's at home for one. They're both in the playoff race. I'm with Tony. Watching Aaron Rodgers throw a ball 70 yards and then collect a Social Security check is impressive.
Man, I love it, and I agree with you guys that said Rodgers. Look, man, I think Rodgers myself has underachieved for the level of talent that he has. I think he should be 3 or 4 time Super Bowl champion, and it's really a disgrace that he is not. Because I said this, I've been saying this forever. He is the most talented quarterback that I ever seen in my freaking life when he was in his time. And I do believe that the old man is going to muster up something and he's going to put on a show for Green Bay. This definitely means more to everyone.
He knows his window's closing. Tomlin, too, for that matter.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why he got brought in there. He got brought in for a ring. That's it.
That's it. That's all it is. Hey, man, you know what? I had some music for this, but I forgot to load it. A bunch of gibberish, and motherfuckers act like they forgot about Brady. Hey, I got to get Dalton on this and then one more, then I'm going to go to the next one. I can't get everybody on this because I'm trying to get you guys out of here. But Steve Dalton, as the resident Patriot fan. Okay, Steve Dalton, I know about the championships. I know about those. But you know when you had a little shouting and somebody had her for a long time and she got away, and you got your little thing with you. How long does it take for you to start at least forgetting a little bit about that old thing? Talk to me.
I kind of look at this like the scene in 8 Mile when Eminem found out his girl was cheating on him with the guy in the studio. I don't forget about Brady, and I damn sure don't forget about Dre. But I'll tell you this right now. Drake May got me thinking about the future.
Man, I love the way you put that, dude. That was so freaking classic. The secondhand citizen.
Well, here's the thing. If you forget about Brady, I don't know what you got going on. You got dementia or something. If Drake May wins every game for the next 10 years, he'll almost be halfway to the amount of wins that Tom Brady had in his career. Put that stat in your pipe and smoke it for a minute. He'll almost be halfway. Brady's got 35 playoff wins, Barry. Playoff wins.
But you got to think about it. But Craig, he's gone.
I know he's gone.
He's gone. Let me say it like this, Craig. You've been laying in the bed for a woman, and she's been getting that thing real good for 20 years. And then she gets up and said, I'm gone. And then this next little thing come and jump in the bed. And you might be thinking about that old thing. But this thing is starting to get a little bit good to you. At some point, you're going to say, yeah, that thing was good. But there's something here, and I better pay attention to it.
Well, let me tell you something for visiting Boston. I got 2 points to that. And an old man told me one time, he said, you can have filet mignon at home, but sometimes a bologna sandwich hits the spot. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying with that. If you go talking blasphemous words about Tom Brady about Boston, you're going to get your head cracked in. Them boys ain't forgot nothing. I promise you. You better not mention Tom Brady and say anything bad. Anywhere around that area if you get around New York.
Have you a coach want a piece of this or not? You want to go to the next slide?
You can go on, yeah.
All right, guys, have it. I want you.
I like how you skipped me, knowing that I called Drake May from the get-go. I ain't even got to say nothing else. That's all I got to say. I called it before he ever got drafted. And look, we can say this about Brady, Barry, but at the end of the day, they both kind of had it the hard way. Brady had it the easy way when he came in. He had it the hard way because where he got drafted. Brady didn't ever have to come in top 5 pick in the league and rebuild a team like Drake May has to. Brady's obviously better, but he didn't have to do what Drake May is having to do right now, ever.
No, he just had to start at 6th-string quarterback and work his way up.
No, he had injuries happen and he got in. That's what he got his shot. Let's be real.
Dalton's coming straight from Boston, Massachusetts, right there.
I think, hey, does anybody know what this little bottle is in the middle of the screen?
I know what that is.
I know, Coach, you know what that is as you go.
No, I don't need none of that.
Hey, who want to take on this one right here? Is Bo Nix the cause or is he the cure?
Both. He was a cause and the cure when he was quarterback for Auburn, too. He drove me absolutely bonkers. Make the dumbest play in the world and then he'd run 45 yards to make a yard, throw ridiculous passes, and then drop a dime in there. So you never know what you're going to get with that kid.
Little crab.
What up, Coach?
That's what he is. He the little Krabby Patty.
Steve Dalton.
You know, I don't know what he is. I mean, sometimes you watch the guy. So I'll tell you my journey last Sunday. I get home and I'm watching Bo Nix play, and they're down 19-0 in the 3rd quarter, and I had got some new video game or something. I don't remember what it was. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna get off this game. It's over. And I looked at my dad probably 20, 30 minutes later, and I said, can you believe the Broncos won that game? Bo Nix is like a fun night out, and the next morning you wake up with something itchy.
Yeah. Little Krabby Patty. But see, the problem with Bo Nix is this. A lot of these quarterbacks, when they come in the league, they look at what team they go to and they think that they went there because that's who they're expecting them to be, is that guy. And you're not that guy. You need to just get your own thing and try to win ball games your way and quit trying to act like you got to live up to the legend of that organization, because when I see Bo Nix, I think that you feel like, oh, Denver brought me in here to be the next John Elway, Peyton Manning. No, they didn't. Just go in there and be Bo Nix and try to win ball games for, the Denver Broncos instead of thinking that you got to come in and fill, some big shoes, even though you do have big shoes to fill there. But don't come in and think that's the reason why they brought you there. The attitude that he got right now is the attitude that Baker Mayfield has in Tampa Bay without all the success of Tampa Bay as an organization.
Hey, okay, 2 turns. Did I get you?
Yeah, I don't have much to say on this. The only reason Bo Nix had a chance to win that game last week is Jackson Dart had a bonehead play. If Jackson Dart don't throw the interception, they have no chance of winning. But he got bailed out by Jackson. I don't know if he's the cure of the cause, but for me, forever, it's screw Bo Nix. I don't care what he does.
Oh, he's a hater. Third pick heaven. I got something I want you to touch on. This is right here, guys. This right here is crazy right now. Russell Wilson came for the first time and he fired something. He said, I can't take it no more. He told Tom Payton, he said, you're classless. But I'm not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 years later through the media. That's right. Have it. What is this about? Take one of these in orange right here and talk to me about possibility in one of those explaining what's going on.
I think Russ is tired of the media piling onto him. I mean, he's an 11-time Pro Bowler. He won a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, he threw the interception at the 1-yard line, but it seems like everyone's never going to let that go. And I'm glad he stood up for himself there. He needs to do it more often because he doesn't have a lot of respect around the league, but this should help.
Have it, man. You be reading my mind, dude. I really do believe as well that interception, people are blaming Russ for that. I think that was all on Pete Carroll, in my opinion, because he didn't want. He should have ran beast mode. But I do believe that one play is wrapped up into his legacy forever. What say you, Coach?
Well, I'm looking at the third one on the list, and I'm tired of being nice. I've always liked Russell Wilson's game, but I always thought, man, I can't get behind this dude. You sound more like a politician than a leader as a quarterback, bro. I can't buy into Russell Wilson being the voice of the team. But I'm also tired of him being the little nice guy because Sean Payton, to me, he ain't squat. Dude, you had Drew Brees and some talented receivers and a nice quality backfield and a defense. So, Sean Payton, you ain't proved nothing to me that make me say anything other than the fact that you did something in New Orleans that'll never be done again in New Orleans. I don't care who comes in there. It's kind of like a Miami situation. Y'all ain't winning no more Super Bowls. But, I'm tired of Russell being so nice, and it's about time he turned into, some type of little hellion before he goes out because, his career is pretty much cooked.
Tony, I know you. I can feel your energy on this. What's going on?
Hey, Russ is cooking. Not only is he cooking, like I got burnt one time because I decided not to wear a shirt out there on the Blackstone and the grease flew up on me. If Sean Payton was standing next to the grill, he's on fire. He's completely engulfed in flames. Because not only did Russ say what he had to say, I get on Twitter that day when I saw it. I think I sent it to y'all. Evan Hill retweeted that tweet from Russ. Said, just to be clear, it's F Sean Payton forever. So people that don't even mess with Russ are defending Russ on this. That's how you know it's real. And I have always said it. I'm with Coach Rice. Sean Payton is a bum. Drew Brees carried him to the one little bit of coaching success he had. Other than that, he failed a top 3 quarterback in the history of the NFL multiple times. The Saints should have won 3 Super Bowls without having a damn defense, but they didn't because of Sean Payton. And not only stuff like that, Sean Payton used to screw his players. We talk about these incentives all the time. You can go back and look at it. Mark Ingram lost his mind on the sideline one day because in the fourth quarter, in a game that wasn't over, Mark Ingram needed one touchdown to get his incentive. They're on the 1 yard line. Mark got him down. Guess who he pulled out the game? To keep from paying his players. This dude is.
They had a bunch of timeout.
Yeah, he's all about him. He ain't never been about the players. And Bo Nix is just too green to speak up about it right now, as well as the other players on the Broncos. But they won't win jack crap. This team will go to waste, and Sean Payton will be out again.
Man, boy, y'all hit on it, Coach, because I'm telling you, I forgot your exact point. I was going to comment on it, but I will tell you, I feel the same way. If both of y'all was on Sean Payton. Sean Payton, man, that dude is not that dude. He's not what everybody wants him to be. And I kind of feel like it's been personal with Russ. What say you, secondhand citizen?
Yeah, it's petty. It's super petty. Head coach, don't do that. The only response I had, when I saw that first post, I'm like, look at Russ getting back at him. And then he had to fire it over the end to let us know he's Russell Wilson. He's a nerd by doing hashtag Let's Ride. Come on, man. I was with you till hashtag Let's Ride, Russ. Come on, bro.
I don't disagree. What's up, Steve Dalton?
Hey, I think Russell Wilson is the weirdest guy in the NFL. I don't know how he's married to Sierra. Listen, it is only fitting because Sean Payton is also the weirdest guy in the NFL, and they're having some sort of nerdiac brain geek off. They should just set up for a chess match and play that, and the winner take all, because they're both weird. And the only thing that makes sense in all this weirdness is Dog the Bounty Hunter in this photo.
It's like watching two Boy Scouts have a marshmallow fight.
Hey, guys, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to end on this slide tonight so I can get you guys off of here. I am so tired of people hating on this guy. And I feel like Sean Payton and a lot of other people bullied this man because he's not confrontational, because he tries to do things the right way. And I've said this once, and I'll say it again. If my daughter brought Russell Wilson home, with or without the money, I'd be happy that this would be the man with my daughter. He is a good human being. Say what you want to say about his game. In my opinion, he has a Hall of Fame career. He should have 2 Super Bowls, but I do think that he should have argued with Pete Carroll, did something to say, man, I don't want to throw this ball. Get this ball to the man that we know can bring us our second chip. I do fault him slightly for that. I think ultimately it was about Pete Carroll. But I don't understand why y'all say you don't understand why Sierra want to be with this man. He's a perfect gentleman. He taking care of future kid. He taking care of his kid. You never see him do anything. Nobody can tell me one thing that they have seen Russell Wilson do that's below par. So in my opinion, I've never seen a man, a nicer guy, hated on more than I see Russell Wilson. Now, the break is home, baby. You there, Dalton?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Take us home.
Hey, great show, as always. Little long tonight, but hey, that's all good when you're having fun. Just like Dog the Bounty Hunter in that picture. I mean, does it get any better in America than Dog the Bounty Hunter? The man runs you down and then asks you for a cigarette, or asks you if you want a cigarette after that. It don't get any better. And it don't get any better than the Chop and Block podcast. Appreciate you joining us again tonight. Barry, send us home.